thing, Lord. Calm down. You're just like... He made me laugh so hard I coughed. That's just terrible. Terrible, Lord, terrible. Now I gotta change the plate. Thanks a lot, Lord. Alright, I love you. Ooh, I can set it up like this. Look at there. I like that now. Get me a sip of water. Turn this out the way. Now we got to get our blue plate on. That's our 1200 grit. We're going to get our 1200 grit plate on. Usually now, I would do this at 8 o'clock, but I got distracted and I started listening to country music. Well, just music in general, but mainly country. And I lost my place. I forgot what I was doing, everything like that. So it wasn't no good. Let's go ahead and raise this up just a smidgen. A smidgen. And then lower back down another smidgen. There we go. And we're just gonna use that blue plate. Start faceting. And we're fixing a mistake on a piece I made or was working on. The piece is ancient Roman glass. I was going to do it for my wife. It's supposed to be a heart-shaped kind of thing. Let's see if I can get this light a little farther up without messing anything up for y'all. Is that a little better? Yeah, it's a little better. Alright, so we're going to turn this on. Bang, chicka, bang, bang. And then we're going to turn the water on. Forgive as I do this. Alright. And then we're going to go to 14 on our dial here. Right. We're going to make sure our angle is what we want it to be, which is 48.87 on 14. And then we are going to start our faceting. And with this blue plate, it's actually going to cut it somewhat clear. I would cut it with a higher grit, but we don't have to really take much off to fix this mistake, because we've already kind of cut it down to the right angles and stuff before, and there'll be a whole video on that. But we do want to cut some off with this blue plate. Just give it nice pretty shine that it do have sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, starting to come clear and see through. So let's go ahead and we're going to move over to our 18. What we're doing right now is we're making a temporary cullet point. Here's the problem, right? I cut this thing down and I was doing so good. I was pavilion, had it down pat, girdle, got that knocked out. Then we go to the crown. Crown, first part, getting the girdle nice and narrow, but everything even. Worked out fine. First time cutting down, worked out fine. Nothing wrong with it. Pretty happy, pretty excited about it. Then I come to this plate. Right? And this plate on the crown for some reason, I could not get nothing to line up. And I missed certain parts. Well, I went and read back. It's the instructions. I'm not really getting the instructions very well, but I've read through it a little bit more, and I feel like maybe I got it now, or at least I hope I do. Lord willing, I do. So I do feel like I got it somewhat now, down pat. So we're going to go back and retry this again and reshoot this again. If anybody's got questions, please put them down below. I'm more happy to answer questions. Also, if any of y'all know what faceting is, likes faceting, anything like that, this right here faceting's part of lapidary. But this right here is a Jennifer Ridge fire opal. And it's got a lot of inclusions, a lot of cracks, things like that. But I do have some plans for this fire opal. And one of them is that I am going to make my wife a D20 out of this fire opal. It's already docked. I just got to finish working on this one and get it done. And then we are going to do this fire opal and make it into a D20. And then after that, I got some, excuse me, I got some obsidian coming. Opal's your second fave? Oh, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night too. Your favorite is fossil. Amber bug fossil. I know a lot of people actually, they do something, they make like fossil now. Like it, or they make amber now. It's like amber, but they put bugs in it and stuff like that. But you're talking like the Jurassic Park, like circular bug amber, I believe is what you're talking about, right? And that's pretty cool. The problem with amber though, cutting it, from my understanding, from talking to some friends of mine, it is a nightmare to cut. You almost have to buy separate grinding wheels and everything like that. And it will gum up your wheels. Dominican Republic amber. Okay, cool. Cool. Chad, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not against it, but I mean, if I got to buy new wheels, it's going to be a while before I do amber. But I've thought about doing some. I have thought, well, let me not lie. As we're talking, I have thought about maybe doing some like amber, but then like doing an amber D20 and doing it in layers. So each side has like maybe one of the bugs that makes a number or something like that. That might be cool, but tell me if I'm wrong. We could always do some stuff like that. No, just nail polish amber. Yeah, we can be friends. I don't mind being friends. What's a fire opal look like when it's done? I don't know. To be honest, this is my first fire opal. This is my actual first fire opal. Now, I do have some opals from Ethiopia I finished. They're put up in like my wife's secret stash somewhere. But this is like the first one I've actually started working with. Oh, okay. Just polished it. Just polished amber. Okay. I thought you were saying to stop the gumming up of the diamond wheels and everything. Put nail polish on it. I was like, well, I mean, shoot, I can always ask around and make sure if that works. But if it does, I'll try it. But yeah, I mean, and what we're working on right now is some ancient Roman glass. This actually comes from Israel, Mount Carmel area, back from 2,000 years ago. So about the time Jesus Christ was walking the earth. And so what we're going to do with it, I'll be right with you to show what it should look like. What I'm going to do with it is hopefully we're going to make this right here with it. This is a frosted heart. It'll go to my wife. First of every new design and first of every new type of stone goes to my wife. And it's both. So that's definitely going to my honey buns. How did they make glass? I've actually been looking into that. So from my understanding, most Roman glass, or almost all of it, really came from Israel, and they would put like iron oxide in the furnace when they were cutting the glass, or when they were melting the sand down to make the glass. And I think they would also put some kind of copper element in there as well to give it different colors. But blue was like the main, blue and bluish green was like the main thing that come out of there. Other than that, I mean, they would fire up a charcoal kiln and melt down the glass and then pull it out. Other than that, I really don't know much how they did it. But I did want to, so I'm getting a bunch of B-roll for this as well for the main video for this. And what I wanted to do was kind of put like images and the history behind it and everything like that behind it. I mean, that's what I'm finding online. Now, if it's true or not, I have no clue. That's just what iron and copper apparently. Now I know that iron and copper does change colors when it oxides. So like iron turns a reddish, sometimes an orangish when it's oxide, and then copper turns like these blues and these greens, which are really cool, right? So, but I believe iron does too somewhat. But like this right here, this is a natural stone, right? And this is copper. This right here, it's got copper in it. So that's why it's got that bluish and blue-green and all that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I hope that explains something. And then, hold on one second. Let me just, because I got to work on this a little bit while I talk, because I get distracted pretty easily. But I'll show you one of the knives I did. So this is a knife I did, and this right here is called kaleidoscope jasper, right? And I believe this purple right here is amethyst, right? Which amethyst is just quartz that has iron in it, and then at some point in time, radiation has turned it purple. But that's where you get that purple look from things like amethyst and stuff like that. But you see these little specks of bluish green in there? From my understanding, that's copper as well. So, no, it's not turquoise. What it is this is a form of chrysocolla. So, this is a form of chrysocolla. This would be kind of considered like a low-grade chrysocolla. Chrysocolla and turquoise are similar looking. I don't know if I have any turquoise in here right now. I have all kinds of stuff. Hold on, I'll show you something really cool. Let's see. This is. See, I have to dump this in some water just so you can kind of see the full coloring. But you see that? That right there is azurite. All right, that's azurite, and that green stuff's malachite. These are both copper minerals. But I'm trying to find if I got any turquoise in here right now. I do not think I do at this moment in time. Oh, yeah, here's something. This right here is obsidian, believe it or not. Alright, and this is mahogany sheen obsidian. And from my understanding, this is like the brown is the iron that got trapped in the obsidian as it was forming. You know what I mean? So the actual metal-like elements do give it a certain look. You know what I'm coming from. Oh yeah, we got a mystery bag right here. That's not so much of a mystery. But you talked about opals one point in time. This is an Ethiopian opal rough that I have. And look at all that fire and the color in that one. Very beautiful stone. I don't know if you're able to see it or not. Yeah, mahogany sheen obsidian. I have to watch the camera to see if I'm able to showing y'all anything correctly. But that's the obsidian. I know it don't look like much, but under the light it looks great. I might actually have to call my wife in to kind of help me show this stuff off. If you don't mind. If y'all ain't minded. Laura. Can I have you for a second, baby? Could you grab a piece of turquoise that's finished so I can show them the difference between turquoise and chrysocolla? And also, can you get some of the opals that I have cut and show them to the camera as well? Thank you. Thank you very much, Dawn. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. But like I said, right now we're just going to work on this ancient Roman glass. This is actually one of the few man-made things I actually cut. And a lot of it is because, well, you know, it's about the time Jesus Christ walked the earth about 2,000 years ago. So I kind of just want to be touching history in a way like that. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to say it's sentimental, but it's just cool to think about. For everybody watching, if you don't mind, I would appreciate it for a like and subscribe. If you're liking it, if you ain't, don't worry about it. But, oh, you got it? Did you find the turquoise? Yep, that's my turquoise. That's my turquoise piece right there that I've cut a little while back. You want to show it to the camera? So it's a little closer, and then, oh, you do metal detecting. Okay, cool. That's awesome, man. And then put that up and kind of see if they can.
Where's your light? Your flashlight?
I don't know. I have no clue, my darling. I have no clue. You do metal detecting. What's some of your coolest finds you found? Here, let's see if I can get. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like chrysocolla and turquoise are somewhat different. Now I don't know what exactly makes up the different makeup of it completely, but I do know that different regions produce different types of like copper inclusions and stuff like that. So I'll put it down here. There you go, darling. Pull out whatever opals you would like to show off. And then she's got some that are her personals, which opal's one of her favorites. So there's a lot that I end up cutting that ends up being her personal opals.
No, these ones aren't my personals.
Those aren't your personals?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So
I'm trying to find the one with the...
they do look similar. It's just when you're around them a lot, they tend to stand out more. So turquoise will have that kind of veiny effect to it, but not too narrow. An actual really narrow vein that's kind of like spiderwebby can indicate some oh, it's not showing because of no light.
Yeah.
It's not showing no flash because of no light.
Oh, this one's a little better. Okay.
I mean, they require light to do their refraction.
Crap.
Oh Lord. I better not move or I'll crush it. I ain't put my foot down there. I found property from I detect in the woods mostly. I'm in Florida and it's all old logging area. I enjoy finding old axes or axe heads.
The flash isn't.
Gate them. So, you live in Florida. Are you in northern part of Florida, like southern? You in the Panhandle area? Or are you more like the southern part of Florida?
Yeah, the
Or
flash.
are you in the Midlands, kind of like the Everglades part?
It's too dark.
Yeah, it's too dark.
I don't know where your flashlight is.
I don't know where my flashlight is either. I had it around here somewhere. I could have sworn I did.
It's not in your pocket, is it?
Oh, Panhandle. Okay, cool. No, it's not in my pocket. It might be in some of my old pockets, my old pants. Because remember, I was running the dogs with them. But yeah, we had a bunch of snow the other day too. I live in South Carolina. So we had a bunch of snow the other day too, and boy, it might have been the most snow I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. I was happy with it though. So yeah, I know that there were some like Civil War battles that was fought around the Panhandle of Florida. I'm trying to think of anything that might be near you. I know there's some Civil War battles fought around Atlanta, but I don't know many wooded parts around Atlanta. Plus, that city takes up like a quarter of the state. So, I don't know if you'll find any private land around there that anybody would want you to go metal detecting on. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a way to touch history, at least, you know. I want to say it's my daddy's cousins. They live near us, but they like used to go to. There's some part of some kind of organization. They used to deal on like Civil War battlefields and stuff like that, and they would find like mini balls and stuff like that, and they said they like small stuff. Apparently, the people would let them keep, but big stuff like actually somebody he said found a cannonball, and then the like state park took that and kept that for themselves. Pensacola was the first settlement and used the rivers for hundreds of years. Nice. So I live in the upper, or not the upper. I live by the coast on South Carolina, but I live in the upper part of the state, so near the North Carolina border. And my family has lived around this county at least. The 3 of the 4 sides of my family have lived here for over 250 years. A long, long time. And then the side that hasn't been in this county forever lived up in the mountains of South Carolina around the Anderson area, and they lived up there, and they immigrated from Germany in 1735. Yeah, that's one of the opals right there. You found a lot.
Daylight.
Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna have to change to 12 and change our angle of our dangle to 47, 86. It's good you're showing that because it gives me time to change the angle.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Dad. After the Tristan de Luna made this settlement, it was hit by a hurricane in 1659, and they moved to North Carolina. St. Augustine was the first permanent settlement. Okay, yeah, I remember hearing about St. Augustine being the first ever permanent settlement. You got a lot of history around you, man. No wonder you want to go metal digging and everything like that. I would too at that point.
That one's got the honeycomb pattern to it.
Yeah, that's got a beautiful honeycomb to it. I'm surprised you didn't snag that for yourself, to be honest.
If it was up to me, I'd keep all of them.
You would, wouldn't you? Yeah, you seem like you got a ton of history hanging around you, man.
I love you.
I love you too, darling. I need to. Sorry about the movement. But I have huge plans for the future. When it comes to this channel, it's a lot of it. So I got a newborn, so a lot of it's time and how do I put this? Time and resources, time and money. You know what I mean? But I want to do some pistol grips with some mother of pearl. Got to find the permissions. Yeah. Well, that'd probably be the problem too, because I'm sure some people, even if they do give you permission, if you find something, they would want to keep it. You know? So I would imagine that would probably be another thing as well. Because once you do find permission, you gotta, then you might have to worry about them going, well, no, that's mine. You know what I mean? Yeah, mother of pearl pistol grips were 1911. would be great. And then so I was in the 2nd Marine Division when I was in the Marine Corps, and one of the things I want to do is get the mother of pearl pistol grips on a silver nickel plated 1911, and then get it engraved, right? And maybe like put the Battle of Tarawa on there or something like that. But it's something to do with the Battle of Tarawa. It's a pretty famous battle that the 2nd Marine Division fought. And the Japanese general said it would take 100 years and 1,000,000 men to take his island, because the island was surrounded by coral reefs that the Higgins boats couldn't really land on. Well, the Marines were running up on their amphibious half tracks, running up and over the reefs and stuff like that, or the coral reefs and stuff like that to get to them. And one of the Japanese, I believe it was one of the Japanese officers, said the gods of death have arrived. You know, and I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool, and I want to get that onto a pistol and donate it to the 2nd Marine Division. Now, whether they'll accept it or not, I don't know, right? But it would be awesome if they did. It would be pretty cool. I think it would make a good video too. Maybe even make a little, you know, like it would be a. Trust me, if the Marines are like we were back then, we'd have been super psyched to have something like that. You know what I mean? We'd have been like, that is cool. So it'd just be a nice way, and then I can just donate it to the 2nd Marine Division. And who knows? I think it would make a good video. I think it would also make just a cool thing to do. So the amphibious half tracks were, how do I describe this? How do I describe this? Just look up amphibious half track online and you'll be able to see it. But it's basically a tracked vehicle, right, with a propeller in the back of it. Okay, and it could literally go on the ocean, right, and push forward like a boat, and then whenever they needed to, they could switch it to the tracks and go up and onto the beach. Well, yeah, like a tank with like a tank that could swim, yeah. Except it's open at the top, so like you could literally just see the people standing in there. The whole top end's pretty much cut off. If I had to guess, they probably did it for weight. But yeah, so I mean, it wasn't as sophisticated as you're probably thinking it is. It's more rudimentary, but it was still pretty cool. You know what I mean? Lift this up a little bit. This is weird. This is weird because now I'm cutting into something. Make sure I got it on 20. So I got it right. I might have to go back and retouch things up. And what I'm doing right now is I'm making what they call a temporary hewlett point. And a temporary hewlett point is just where you meet the top of something. Now, a lot of this has to do with, you cut these at different angles and different depths and different angles and different depths until you get to one solid kind of piece right there. Or you know what I mean. You get like a little pattern going around here. But since I've already cut it all the way through the first time, and now we have to go back through so everything lines up when I recut the top again, things are not looking right as you cut them because you're not working with a full stone. You know what I mean? So it's a little weird right now, but I think as I come back and recut things and everything like that, it'll start shaping up a lot more. See, I'm just checking things out right now. Yeah. So I think that's the issue, because it just did it the same exact way here. So whatever it is, it's uniformed, which means I'm following at least the design or the thing correctly. It's just not looking like it should right now, which that can be easily rectified, my friends, easily rectified. So while I got everybody here, if y'all would, if you wouldn't mind, please like, share, and subscribe, or at least subscribe. We're going to be doing some cool stuff in the future. I haven't got some ideas. So like I've already shown you some of the knives I've done, or a knife that I've done with gemstone handles. I'm wanting to do like rifle stocks and get, was it the electric burning in it? So it looks like the lightning's flowing through the rifle stock, but it burns it. And then inlay it with opals, like synthetic opals, because real opals is just way too expensive to do that. But some synthetic opals, and then make that part of the stock. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to do some really cool ideas. A lot of it, again though, a lot of it comes down to money and time. Which again, I think a lot of y'all know, with a newborn little feather, money and time is not really either on my hands or in my pocket. You know what I mean? So, but we do plan on doing some cool stuff in the future. Right now, it'll be faceting, because all my like cabochon cutting, things like that, knife cutting stuff, that's out in the shop. Well, our shop is a tent shed, and with it snowing, I do not want to be anywhere near water and no heat. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if y'all wouldn't mind, give us a subscribe, give us a like. I do appreciate it. And it's been a good year, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's been a good year. I recently got a little boy. It's our first youngin', and I'm excited. I'm excited for him to grow up and learn about the world, and you know, hopefully be a lot better than what his daddy is. And I'm also excited to hopefully pass down this skill to him, because let's face it, in America, him doing something like this will make him stand out. He'll be something different, you know. So I definitely want him to stand out. Let's see what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna move down to 46. So I'm gonna need to adjust the angle of the dangle. Right, it's the 46 degrees. And what I'm going to do is, since I've noticed that my hand was a little heavy, instead of doing at 46 exactly, and I hope y'all can see this, but that's 46.1, right? As soon as I kind of just lightly press down on this thing, it goes to 46 degrees exactly. So I always do it like one above or two above. That way it's, you know, that way it kind of works that way. You know what I mean? And I ain't being very accurate in my talking right now. There we go. But I hope I am making some sense. Up to the Lord I am. Let's see. 86. So we need to go to 10. There we go. So how's everybody's day going today? I'm having a pretty good one. It's, like I said, it's been snowing, which is kind of odd, but I ain't complaining either. So, because we haven't had any good snowing forever. see, we got 22. There we go. 22. And we got, I'm gonna lift this up, push this back down, and see just how this cutting's coming along. Huh. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? I don't know if we're gonna be able to make this thing work after all. And if that's the case, that ain't good. You might not be able to make this thing work after all. I mean, we try. Ain't nothing ever wrong with trying, but this may not end up being what we want it to be. Which would absolutely not be good. Because none of them are turning out the way I want them to. Or the way they need to be. See, because up top they looking fine, right? But then you got this big old piece here. You got the basically 3 corners here, and they're not matching up, right? And they're not cutting. But if I cut too far down, or you run into the major dilemma that I was worried about, and we cut so far down that we can't even. We'll have to take it off the dot and then recut it all over again. Which, then again, making it smaller. Almost really, really small. I'm trying to figure out a way, dude. We ain't got to do that. But it may be inevitable. Unfortunately, it may be inevitable. We're going to continue cutting. We're going to see how far we can get along with this. And what happens is if it ends up failing, it ends up failing. You put it on a smaller dot and try again. And the dop is these little brass rods here, and they're meant to hold it in place and, you know, in line, so you can get a nice clean cut on it. But we gotta keep checking this thing out, though. Yeah, because it's not looking great right now. Let's see. That's 54. 54. I was singing a little bit of country music earlier. I was listening and singing with some country music earlier. I was trying to get my brain in the right place for a live stream. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't much of an internet person when it comes to putting yourself out there. So it's kind of good to just, I don't want to say hype myself up, but to kind of get myself wanting to get online, you know what I mean? And I was listening to some good songs. I was listening to Long Black Train by Justin Turner, and then I was listening to a little bit of George Strait, which, I mean, you can't go wrong listening to George Strait now, can you? So I was listening to them. I was kind of getting excited for it. And it didn't turn out, bad or nothing. I like doing it. I'll tell you what we is going to do, though. We're going to have to cut deeper If I know anything, cutting deeper means going with a smaller thing, and we're gonna have to do a different design for this one. So I'm actually gonna have to take this one off the dock completely. I'll probably have to do a standard round brilliant and order some more ancient Roman glass that's big enough for me to cut this design again. I'm going to have to retry it all over again with a new piece of stone, which is alright, but unfortunate to say the least. Unfortunate to say the least. Let me look through my papers and see if I have the D&D schematic with me real quick. Schematic, like I'm somebody special, just a D&D diagram. After she's gonna come strong, like she'll love you all night, like it's going. Then she'll leave you with a smile. Hey man, how you doing, Dream? I ain't talked to you in feels like forever, but at least over a month now. At least it feels that way. We got a newborn, so that's probably another reason why it feels so long. Laura, can I have you for a minute, darling? How's things been going with you, Dream? Can I get the D&D schematic? The D20? I want to say it's in the book. Not like the binder, yeah. I didn't see it. Maybe you can find it, but I didn't see it. Well, hello, Mr. Moon. I'll cover his face for you. There you go. Yeah, man, it's been a while. I didn't see the book in here nowhere. Okay. Yeah, I was going to work on this little sucker right here, but it ended up being too small for the dop I'm using. So, I might have to take it off and cut a different design into it too. And not only that, but I'm also going to have to buy a new stone to try this design again. So that's not been fun. That's not been fun. And it sucks too, because that was like a $40, $50 piece of stone right there. And again, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to give it to my wife, but it still sucks because, well, you kind of want her to, if you're not going to make no money on it, right, and you're giving it to somebody, you kind of want her to do it right the first time, exactly. You know. Plus, it's a gift from my wife. I definitely want it to be right. Not for anything like she's going to be mad or upset with you for anything like that, but it's just, you know, you want to do something. If you're going to do something, especially as a gift, you want to do it right the first time. So, it was a bummer. I ain't gonna lie. It was a bummer that it happened this way. But we're gonna get that little book and we're gonna figure it out. Is it not in there? Look in that pillow. Well, you were looking through it, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I was trying to figure out where I put it.
And I'm gonna look in my little chest right now. got a little like lapidary chest my mom got me. Not there. And we got it because there it is. There it is. I found it. I found it, Laura. And we got it because if we ever go to shows in the future, I would like to be able to cut like live in front of people, give them like live demonstrations of how to do it. So yeah, we're looking. I'm looking. There we go. Man, flipped right to it, didn't I? Flipped right to it. There you go. That makes me happy. I didn't even really have to do much on this one. Oh God, my back. I'm old too. I found it, darling. There we go. All right. Let me turn this water off from dripping. Let me turn this off from moving. Take this plate off right here. Which I gotta get another 1200 grit plate. And I gotta get new wheels as well. So this is my 600 grit. I've actually thought about getting like a 300 or 320 grit as well. But we'll see. Alright. And faceting I'm actually kind of new at. Obviously. Right. Alright, so this looks weird. At least it looks weird to me. But hey, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, it's got 20 faces on it. Should be a D20 when it's done. Boom. Alright, let's see here. So first thing we need to do is go to 08 on our dial here. And then on our angle, I need to change it to 37.40. There we go. 37.40. There we go. And I'm going to lift it up so I actually push down on it. There you go. Alright. Now we have to lift it up and lower it down. But first I want to make sure I'm flat on the 1 here. You see that? You see that 0 and you see that 1 there? So there's a 0, 1, and above that, around about here, is a 2. I always like to get it on the 1 because it's nice and centered. You know, I can move up and down, and I got plenty of room to do so. I mean, look at that. This piece is so big that even at that angle, it's too big. That's crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to grind it down, my friends. Still a little high, right? Well, I can probably tell you by now we're going to have a lot of grinding to go through. lower it down some and let it grind it down. So we're just going to grind it down until I find some face that's somewhat desirable for this thing. I feel like this cheater moves on its own sometimes. You know what I mean? That's pretty locked in. I don't know why it wouldn't move. I need to get like a separate camera for the dial, because that's one of my favorite things to do, is to watch this dial just kind of tick down. But yeah, I mean, look at that. It's cutting for sure. An angle in this thing. So let's see, we are now, why is it always showing an 80? That's supposed to be for 90 index, or it's 96 index dial. Let me see if I got my 96 index dial. Let me see if I got my 96 index dial. I'm over here being a goofball. Faceting has been so daggum tough for me. My mind just doesn't seem to grasp it very well. Cabochons, cutting cabochons, doing it freehand, pretty good. But faceting's just been a different monster altogether. Which I thought it would be, but I kind of like it that way because it does present its own challenges, which is, I mean, granted, I'm not going to turn down a challenge, you know what I mean? So, let me just keep flipping through this until I find it. Unless it's gotten taken out and put somewhere, which is always a possibility, my friends. These things just go around, go missing all the time. All the time. And it looks like that very well may have happened. So, let's see. Let us see. I'm going to have to use my wife's phone and look up a 96 dial. '96 index. Gear. D. 20. Faceting. Light. A gram. It's only an 80 here, and I don't want that. Don't tell me they ain't got no. I know they got a 96 gear index. I've looked it up before. Alright, hey, I was hoping to find power. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings, but you can't cut a regular Doe DJ Hitchcon or whatever on a 96 or a 64 index, because they both have 5-fold symmetry. takes one of an 80 tooth index, a 120 tooth index, the ability to split the 96 tooth index approximately. You can do regular cubes, hydrohedrons, either a 96 or a 64 index, because they're both fourfold symmetry. A regular, okay. Wings bed, alright. So I need a 90 index wheel. Dang it. So that's not gonna work. So I got all set up for nothing. Nothing, y'all. Golly. I could have sworn I printed one out that had a 96, but apparently that's impossible. Well, that's no good. Which just makes me more frustrated, you know? Makes me more. Ooh, I just dipped my hand in acetone with open wounds on my hand. That didn't feel good, y'all. I ain't no old saying. If you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough. And I am stupid. So, this may very well be the end of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate y'all coming out for tonight. I will get set up for better things in the future. I will get set up to be able to do this D20. I'm sorry that the Roma glass didn't turn out the way it was. Doesn't mean we failed, it just means we haven't succeeded tonight. But we will succeed another day. What was the old saying? I didn't learn 99 ways. I didn't fail 99 ways to make a light bulb. I learned in 99 ways how not to make a light bulb. And today we've learned 99 different ways on how not to fasten. And I did it by example. So, again, today's not a failure. Just means next week we'll hit it even harder. Try some different designs. If I can get some of that Roman glass in before then, we'll do that. Maybe a 80 index dial. We'll do that too. So, yeah, as I leave us out tonight, I'm going to leave us out on a prayer. And then we can head out. Okay? So, everybody who's in here, please bow your heads. I'd appreciate it. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd like to ask that if anybody is here today and going through troubles and trials and tribulations, that they seek you and try to find you through your holy word, that they find the warm embrace of your Son and yourself. And we want to thank you for Jesus Christ and his sacrifice upon the cross today. Also want to thank you for everybody who's come out to see us today and hang out and talk and chill. I've been having a great time tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but it is what it is. It's okay. I want to thank you for your love and grace upon me to give me the life that I have led. I do not deserve it, but you have seen it fit for me to have it. And no matter what, Heavenly Father, I want to say, let your will be done. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And just like my old pastors used to tell us, as much as I love you, God loves you more. And we'll see you next week.